Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second episode in this three-part series previewing the 2022 Hardscaper Showcase educational content that we'll be presenting as we tour around the United States and Canada this winter. In this part, we'll be talking about the feature-rich environment that we created and the impact that it had on us as a design-build team, as well as the value that it brings to the clients. Let's get into that conversation right now.
So one of the things on this project was it was a feature-rich environment. Despite the tighter space, the tighter access, we crammed a lot of things into this project. I'm curious, guys, like without revealing the whole thing, because we do want people to come check it out at the show and see just how amazing this project is. What are some of the things that stood out to you that we built?
Yeah, I think for me, one of the things was just like the fire pit. We originally started out and we had a plan for something else. In the end, we had to look around at the products that we had on site and what we were utilizing for other features, and we said, hey, we can make that work. One of the cool things was that we now have our Warming Trends burner kits, and we had access to one of those, and we were able to just dial that in with a little bit of tweaking and some minor customization there. And really threw that together, and it ended up working perfectly in the space, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm. And that kit that has the burner, the pan, the ignition system, the vents, it has the cover, has everything. So we already had the blocks on site, just figure out the exact dimensions. The only cuts we had were around vents. Like, this is one of those things that we're adding to the contractor support manual now, so when you come to the show, you can get the plans for it. But, I mean, basically, this thing was really quick to put together, and it fits perfectly in that space, as you said.
Yeah. And with supply chain being what it is right now, we just found ourselves in a situation where we had to pivot quick, and we made it happen, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, Tyler. The fire feature was pretty cool. Just how it all kind of came together. We didn't have everything we exactly needed, but we made it work, and it looked like a great final product, which was a step kind of even further was that we lit the fire feature up. You know, like that, the flame isn't always coming out of the top, right? So by adding lighting around all four sides, we really made that almost a focal point in that backyard with some simple lights from Inlight, which, I mean, looked amazing at the end of the day.
Yeah. And Tony, you came by, and we did all the lighting at night because that's, I mean, not all the lighting, but a lot of the lighting. It's the best time to do it because you can position the light exactly, create the effect that you want. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Because I've never seen you so excited, Tony.
Well, it's kind of everyone, whoever knows me knows that I'm kind of a nut when it comes to lights. So what I loved, and again, going back to the creative freedom that I had on this project was Inlight from the last showcase project was saying, this is the plan, this is where the lights are going, and don't stray away from that. Now, obviously, I didn't have the same relationship I have with Inlight, with the company, as I do now. So what I loved was that they just sent us we had boxes and boxes of lights. We just had a bit of everything, and their guides were, Tony, just do your thing, man. Just have fun with it, make it look good. So we were able to be extremely creative, and part of that was actually our little putting green secret that they're going to have to come to showcase to see, which we decided on the spot. We're looking at the putting green. It's like, it needs this blank. Yeah. and we made that work, and it was awesome. But aside from that, as you saw, installing the lights in could I say Starry Night? Is it like giving away too much? Yeah.
No, but that's their thing. That's fine.
So installing, especially the Starry Night pattern, we just taped it all off, and we took about a good 45 minutes to an hour placing the lights out. It was way quicker to install them. So I feel like we had so many different lights to work with, and we had a lot of freedom to do what we wanted. So I was really excited with that, and I think that what we put together is just amazing. That this project at night, as beautiful as it is in the day, it's another world at night. You cannot imagine having that space anywhere in that borough. I mean, I don't think there's another one like it.
Yeah, it really makes a difference. And when you add to that the coastal source lighting or sound system that we put in,
yeah.
I'm going to say that again because hold on. I agree with you. And when you add to that the coastal source outdoor audio system that we put in with that amp and the 4 speakers and the subwoofer, like it's just the quality of the audio, like
amazing.
You know, for anybody who thinks like, you know, like, oh yeah, well they'll just take their Bluetooth speaker outside. Like, no, not when you're making that kind of project. Not when you have a fire feature, a water feature, a pergola, all these things in this incredible space. You don't want to have a subpar anything. So you need to go to that premium quality audio, and it makes such a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Funny
enough,
I
was
like
lucky.
ZZ Top was in the backyard.
I was really lucky that the system was hooked up. Like, we had hooked it up prior to finalizing the lighting, because I had this like amazing sound system to entertain me while I was installing lights. So I think that worked out really well. And I had Alex, which was probably the best DJ on the planet, just killing it with the right vibe, and it was awesome. So I for sure I can't say that I could choose one feature that I love more than any of the others, but I love how they all came together. And you know, at the end of the day, it is a very feature rich environment. And the thing is that features are obviously they're an upsell. An upsell definitely, you know, it does put more money in your pockets. It increases your margins. But at the end of the day, that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing for your client. Yes, you're putting more money in your pocket, but you're giving them something that they could only dream of, right? They didn't know what's possible. They didn't know that they could have all that in their yard. And now you're delivering this to them. So they're happy to line your pockets a little bit more because you're giving them something in return. And I feel like this project would not have been close to the same. Not even this project would not be, what's the word I'm looking for? This project would not have the same effect whatsoever if it did not have all these features. I feel like they were all very necessary, and I'm happy we did them.
And I mean, for me, just listening to you guys go and watching all the features that went in, what I would hope or what I would encourage is there's costs associated with all these features and all these upsells, right? But you know, we have the contractor support manual. You're going to see the different systems that are installed there, whether it be the speakers, the lighting. You can work out some rough pricing. Is it going to be dialed in perfect? Maybe not, but you can work in some rough pricing and talk to the homeowners about, hey, I could add you, 3 or 4 speakers. I could add you a fire feature. I could maybe put in some lighting here. And here's what you're looking at, as like a budgetary kind of idea. And I think that's something that we need to keep pushing and working towards because, again, this was a tight space, not a ton of room to work with. And the final product is absolutely impeccable. So,
and
absolutely.
we can't ignore the fact that there will be more and more going into 2022 and potentially into 2023. There will be more and more of these smaller projects. Yeah. It's one of the reasons why we focused on a smaller project for this case study, basically, that we built, was because with the home values that shot up so much, with the interest rates as low as they are right now, that creates an environment where you have new people that are willing to invest in their homes that previously these were not homes that you would consider as potential clients. They were in neighborhoods that didn't have the home value that made sense. They didn't have the capital, the liquid cash to be able to invest, but now they do. So we have to be in a position to be able to take advantage of that, not by ripping people off and adding things that they don't need, but be in a position to present these options to them, give them the opportunity and make them make the decision as to whether or not they want it or not.
Right. Like
it's
a lot
not
of
about ripping people. No, go ahead, Ty. You're gonna. I'm sure that's exactly what I was going for. Go for it, buddy.
Really, guys, like a big part of this, showcase and this whole project was really that it started out at in one position. There was a budget that was sort of set, and it was like, here, this thing ended up over 6 figures. Now, when you hear that and you hear it's 1,000 square feet, you think like, no way, how did you manage that? And I think that's a big part of Showcase is coming and just getting educated on all the different aspects that you can put into a space. A lot of times your clients might have a list and they may have come to Tony and said, yeah, like we'd like to have some kind of fire and some kind of water. But not everybody knows you can even have outdoor audio. People don't understand the artistic effects that lighting can really truly have on a space, right? They don't understand the benefits of having that water feature that knocked down some sound from the highway that was so close, or the neighbors and their music, so you can have a conversation in your glass of wine with the wife at night. There are things out there that are so new and going on in the outdoor space right now that it can't be expected for your homeowner client to understand that these features even exist. And I think for me over the years, that's been one of the major perks of Showcase is coming and going like, oh, that's cool. I can work with that. Here's what I'm going to do with that. They did an okay job, but I think I could take it to another level, right? So challenge yourselves, guys. Like push the limits.
Not only are we bringing up, the features that are available, Tyler, like you say, to the homeowners, but we're also, offering ways to help finance those options. So, at Teco we have the Pave Now, Pay Later with Teco Pros that can be offered, and that's just another way that we're making it available for those features to be built by the contractors and for those homeowners to be able to sit there with that water feature or fire feature and have that glass of wine, Tyler, like you say. I think it's awesome. We have to be mindful of what's available and outlets to make those opportunities happen. So that Pave Now, Pay Later program with Teco Pros is one of those, which is huge.
Well, that's why you say, Peter, is to make those opportunities possible. It's exactly that. It's we're going to put this project out there. Once it's revealed, it'll be out there. Homeowners will see it. Contractors will see it. Contractors will use it to reference to sell these features to homeowners, right? Now, that's where the Pave Now, Pay Later option comes in, is that the client might have the budget for the patio, but the Pave Now, Pay Later allows them to, look, I've had this conversation with you, Alex, in the past, and I've said it, once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's exactly that. Once you see that fire pit and you're like, wow, and you now at this point, you're in your mind, you're already sitting by with your glass of wine, your friends, you're having a good time. You can't unsee that. You want it, but you might not have the budget for it. But at least this gives you the option to have it for life and pay it slowly, right? Pay it over a short period of time. You won't even feel it, but you're going to enjoy it forever. So it's exactly that. It's very important for contractors to understand that just because you are offering these features to the client, you're charging them more, but you're not taking advantage of them. You're giving them something that they want. You're elevating their yard to the next level. You're actually doing them a service. Of course, 100%.
It changes their whole life. So you can't have that reluctance to not bring it up, to not propose these options. And include the financing options as part of the options that you propose. Let them make the choice, but don't set the budget of the project on your own budget, because you don't know what they want and you don't know what they need. You're hoping to through a bunch of questions and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, if you know that a fire feature or a water feature or lighting or audio could enhance the project that much more, you're actually doing them a disservice by not bringing it up, even if they didn't ask for it. Say like, look, I know you asked for this. I really think you need to consider this option. And if they have, if they have half a decent head on their shoulders, they realize that they're talking to an expert. They're talking to a professional. That is your profession. You transform outdoor spaces to make them amazing for people to enjoy. Look, so why not leverage that position?
You could either be a hardscape builder or you could be a creator of spaces. And that's what it comes down to. You can either be a builder or a creator of spaces. A creator of what we're doing is we're creating venues. We're creating spaces where they will create memories with their family, with their friends, with all this. So why not give them these amazing features that they could use to enhance these evenings, enhance these parties? Like you said, it's your job to at least offer them the option, provide it for them. Now, don't make them overextend themselves. I can't force somebody to make proper budget decisions either. I can't. But at least if they have the option and it's in their court, then they can't regret not doing it, or they can never turn around and say, "Well, why didn't you tell me about that? Oh, if you would have just mentioned it, oh man, I saw you built that on your last project. Yeah, we did it. Oh, why didn't you mention that to me?" Well, I did, but the budget didn't allow for it. But at least you offered it. Now, I could not imagine this project that we built without these features, right? If one wasn't there or the other wasn't there, then I could say like, okay, yeah, the project's still awesome. But once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. One of the challenges here is at Showcase is we're always talking about feature-rich environment and all these big fancy things. And so many of our projects in the past really have been quite large spaces, right? One thing that I think really caught me about this one is none of these spaces that we're talking about, none of these little feature-rich micro environments in this backyard are large spaces. So many times now I'm on job sites and you'll see all the time these big, huge patios, right? But for what? You can have a 2020 patio. It might be 400 square feet. That's not really being utilized for anything. The cost of building that, or the cost of building a 14 by 14 and putting in this fire pit and assume maybe they have their own chairs already existing, you're not spending that much more money. And now you have a space to gather around to create memories, whether that's, you know, we make s'mores all the time with my nephew on his little fire feature, and he's pumped, right? That kid has those memories now for life. I just think that it's not always about size. These features in this project are really going to show you how you can bring value to the scenario.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, and like part of the importance, because I even watched it with you, um, as the job evolved and everything else, is sometimes people aren't 100% sure what they're after, right? And it's important to ask questions. Like people be like, well, okay, well, like, what are you into? What's your hobbies? What do you enjoy? Well, I'm a foodie. Well, great. But what does that mean? You know, are you about smoked ribs and chicken wings and like all kinds of barbecue feast? Or are you more about like, you know, Michelin 5-star cuisine and you want like sushi or really like, there's different ways to be a foodie. And if you don't ask those questions, and all of a sudden you throw in a big green egg or a smoking egg, whatever you want to call it, and a barbecue, and the guy, well, I don't really eat that kind of stuff. It's important to drill down and really show those options to the homeowners that, hey, if you're really into this, I can build you a whole prep station. You can have all your people over. Here's a little fridge where you can keep everything nice and cool. And here's a prep. You can make your own fresh sushi right outside. And maybe they don't know that that's a possibility. So, you know, sometimes people say that, hey, I don't want to like sell them something they don't need. Well, maybe you're going to sell them something they didn't know existed. And I think that that's one of the most important things that we overlook. You know, it's like, well, I don't want to push it too far. Yeah, but maybe they don't know. And it's just something to keep in mind when you're sitting talking with the customers or the clients. Ask those questions, drill down a little bit further to really understand what they're into, what their hobbies are, and what drives them, where are their passions. And it's going to help you, yes, upsell and make more money for yourself as a contractor, but also fulfill and satisfy them in ways they may not have ever expected. Mm-hmm. I think that's important.
I agree, Brandon.
I think that's
you're not pushing it too far, or you're not selling them something they don't need. If you're not trying to take advantage of them, if you are doing it with their best interest at heart, genuinely, if you're not doing it just thinking about your pockets, then you are not selling them something they don't need. Yep. And then it's literally that. I've since the beginning, I've always said that every time I propose something or I put a design together, whatever it is, it's always in the best interest for the client. Yes, there's certain cool features I want to build, and I have a ton of ideas that I haven't even proposed yet. Why? Because it's not the right build for that project, right? They're going to come. I'm going to find the project for it. But if I feel like it's in the best interest of the client, then no, I'm not taking advantage of them. And like you said, if they don't know it exists, it's not fair for you to not tell them, or at least offer it to them.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that, you know, just the way that this project came together and the way that the space is laid out, it gives so much more functionality to the space. Like it's one thing to say, like you were saying, Tyler, like if it's a 20 by 20 space or a 30 by 30 space, like, yeah, you can put a lot of people in there, but what are they doing? In this case, we have an area for, you can lay out on these lounge chairs. You can tan, or you can just hang out there. We have the dining area, or you can sit down and have a nice dinner. You can play cards. You can do whatever. There's a putting green. There's a little bocce court, so you can play games. There's the fire pit in the back where you can sit around. You can have a cigar. You can do whatever. You can just listen to music, or you can listen to the water. There's a projector. We can shoot an image on the wall, that big white wall that we didn't end up painting. Now it's a canvas. Now it's a projection screen. So there's just so many things that can be done with this little space that, I think everyone listening here owes it to themselves really to check it out at the shows, because you're going to see so many things crammed into such a small space. Then maybe you will have a client who wants all those things. Maybe you won't, but at least you'll know all the options available. You'll have way more tools in your toolkit, and you're that much more prepared to, when you meet the right client, to pitch all these ideas, to work them into design, to wow them and get them on board, and then have fun building it, because you're truly creating something that's unique and personalized to them. And it's not just smashing out, 20 by 20 patios, which is great. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to find a niche for your business, if you want to create a unique identity, you got to find something different. And this opens the door to that. And that's what we're trying to do.
And highlight the fact that we finished it on time, on budget, right? I mean, these are huge things that we were able to overcome. Let's be honest, doing that build in 5 days, that's impressive. And it comes down to all that pre-planning, the organization, having the logistics on the street, having the experience on site. These all add up, for a reason. Plus, we had a film crew there, right? Let's not forget that. So, really important. I think that 5 days that we hit was a big accomplishment for sure.
Yeah, and no contractor could understand how much a film crew, like how much impact it has on the job site. A film crew really does have a huge impact on schedule, and we killed it on that. Contractors should definitely come and check it out, because I think it'll give them the confidence to tell a client with a limited space that they could fit all these features inside, because seeing is believing, right? And if we told somebody, hey, we had a yard this size, we put this, as we're doing right now, a lot of people are going to be like, no way. Like if it wasn't a project that was built and we were saying we're going to build a project with all these things, people would look at us like, no, there's no way you're going to fit all that. Well, we did it. You know what I mean? You could do it. The proof is there. So come check it out, see it for yourself, and use this project as an example to show a client when they're telling you, no, my yard's too small for that. Well, this one was smaller than yours. So now what?
And that's the purpose of this year's show content, is to show this is how you can do all that. So that's what we're going to talk about this winter. On the next episode of this 3-part series, we're going to dive into the challenges that we faced and the lessons that we learned. Because like you said, Peter, like getting it done in 5 days was a significant accomplishment, but it was not without its fair share of challenges and problems and curveballs thrown at us literally every day. But we overcame them, and that's what we're going to be covering next week on the Hardscape Growth Show. Thank you very much, everybody. Well, next week for next week's episode, but we'll also see you in person at our Hardscaper events. Check out hardscaper.com today. Sign up. Don't miss it. Space is limited. Thank you very much, and have a great day, everyone.